Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Real Arsenal Talk with your hosts, Larry and Stevie. As always, we are here when we are here. Stevie, we are here. So how you doing?
Very good, Larry. I am tired. I'm sick of the heat, as we've just discussed off air. But you know, it has actually calmed down throughout the country, so I think everyone else will be breathing again a sigh of relief.
I think just breathing in general, to be honest with you.
Exactly.
It's been horrendous and hideous. I think hideous is the word I'm going to use for this heat that we've experienced. You know, and what's making it worse is this is the first week that I'm traveling, commuting by train and underground, and it wasn't good. Sweating everywhere. I'm sure I lost like 300 kilos in the last week, but there you go. And I'm glad, by the way, that it's coming to an end. It's been fun, but not really. It's not a fun heat, okay? Let's keep it at 23 degrees with the humidity and all that stuff. Let's just, let's not go crazy with 35s. But yeah, Stevie, we've gone through it, I think. Hopefully there's no more aftershock heat waves or whatever the fuck it is. Because I can't be asked with it.
Obviously I am the weatherman, and it looks like it's going to really reheat up again next weekend, folks.
Fantastic. And you heard it first here on Real Arsenal Talk News and Weather with Stevie. Honestly, if you had a green background right there, yeah, I could have literally put in a weather map.
What was that famous weather guy? John Stevie Ketley.
There you go. I'll even put the titles at the bottom as well of weather forecasts with Stevie. Brilliant. But yes. Unfortunately, no, you don't have a green background, so can't really do much with that. But honestly, man, the thing is, obviously, I was in Albania the week before the heat, and then it was hot there, but we were at the beach. It was fine. It was nice, lovely, so you'd cool down quite quickly. And they had aircon, which again we spoke about, and I think here in England, aircons are like a myth. They don't exist, only in people's imaginations from what they see in Europe. And then obviously coming back, I was kind of hoping maybe cool down a little bit, just to get my bearings back. But no, it just immediately heated up to worse than what it was in Albania. And the fact that, I was in central London, too many buildings with glass. Stop it.
Reflecting.
Where's the absorbing...
Like a magnifying glass.
Exactly. Where's the absorbing black paint? All right. Just all the buildings in central London, all absorbing black paint, and use the heat for something else, because it's just terrible. But look, right, okay, we've got that heat talk out the way, right? Because it's still annoying. It really is, and I have to still have windows open here. So if you hear cars, apologies. Okay, and obviously since we last spoke, the World Cup is well underway, and currently the first game of the round of 32 is being played. South Africa versus Canada. Don't know what the score is. Still 0-0, I think, from what I can see.
I believe
here.
It is.
Yeah, I believe it is as well. And I'll be honest, I thought this was the last game of their group, but then I realised this is the first match of the round of 32, which is fine. I like Canada. I like Jonathan David. I want him to do decently well, I guess. But in terms of excitement, walk me through it, Stevie. Walk me through it. It's been a week and a bit, or almost 2 weeks, I think, of the group stages. What are we thinking? Right, give me a step back view of it.
Okay, so you corrected me first of all. Just looking at the South Africa versus Canada, like you thought it was the last game in the group, and you were 100% certain that this is the first game in the round of 32. Yeah,
I think so. But as you asked that question, I think it's a trick one. So let me just let me just go back to you in the studio there 1 second, please. Thank you very much.
The reporter in South Africa game, well, not in South Africa, actually in kind of America somewhere.
It is. Yeah, it's the first game of
It's
the
definitely
run.
the first game.
Yes, it is.
Right, okay.
Yeah, because it says playoffs, and then the other on the 29th, so which is tomorrow, it says playoffs, which is Brazil, Japan, Germany, Paraguay. So yeah, so today is the first match of the round of 32. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that, Stevie. All right, like
I was just
that would
thinking
have been
it was
embarrassing.
such an insignificant game. So they're playing one game, or I just wonder why there was only one game.
I think it is right. I think it is only one game, isn't it?
Is it one game every day, or is it because?
No. I don't think it's okay. So right, hold on 1 second, please. If you just hold the line for me, I will get it. So tomorrow we have 2 games at 6 o'clock our time and 9:30 our time, and then it seems to be 2 to 3 games, 2 to 3 games until the end of the round.
Okay, I wonder why there's just one tonight. Then it's just a bit strange. That's why it's throwing me off. I thought it was the last one.
Yeah, I think because these were the first few teams that played, right? South Africa and Canada, they were like Group A and Group B or some shit.
Yeah, possibly.
If I'm not mistaken. Group B was Canada, Group A was South Africa. Yeah, so Group A and Group B. Right, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, okay.
Cool, yeah, we're on it. Yeah, we're on it. We know what we're talking about. We're professionals.
Yes, yeah, we're there now. Right?
We're
okay,
professionals.
So
yeah.
I think by that explanation of the round of 32 goes to prove that my interest in the World Cup is kind of 50% interest at this moment in time.
Is it 50 really? Because I'm hovering around 37, to be honest.
I was, yeah.
I could go as low as 28.
I was trying to be optimistic and show enthusiasm towards it.
Let's do the real part of our podcast name. All right, let's do the real part. So I'm hovering around 28 to 37%. There you go.
Right. Well, I'll be honest with you. I've not watched a full game all the way through, apart from maybe the England game last night.
Probably the worst one to be honest with you. But
I thought the Ghana one was pretty bad. There was no goals in that one.
That was terrible. That was not good.
But yeah, let's just forget about England for now. Overall, so yeah, I mean, I think that the issue is obviously is the time of some of the games, which I think is probably unsettling a few people. And unless you're a Scotland fan and you haven't been to a World Cup final for a long time, those type of matches don't come on very often, so you're going to sit up and watch them at 10:00 in the morning. Whereas Spain, France, England, Germany, it's quite a regular occurrence with us. But no, I've not really took much interest in it. I've watched the odd first half. I've watched the odd 20 minutes here and there, and what I've seen of France, Spain, Germany, they look pretty good. They look capable of winning it, though, any of those three. Argentina, Brazil, the likes of them, they always go to be there or thereabouts. But the kind of bits and bobs that I've seen here and there, I think France have probably impressed me the most, if I'm honest. I saw a bit of Spain. Yeah, they've got some great individuals, but again, they don't strike me as being ones that have got the most talent on show. I think France, like you say, have got the best team overall throughout, from the back to the front. And Germany, as we all know, they seem to be always there or thereabouts. But again, I don't think they've got the right nucleus of players. They've got a decent squad, but as an aging team, especially Neuer, I don't think he's the man that he was 4, 8, 10, 12 years ago. So the World Cup, to me, I know you probably got your take on it. It hasn't been the greatest. It hasn't really sort of lived up. There's been some decent games, don't get me wrong, which we'll probably talk about, but overall it's not really ignited my imagination, should I say. I'm still, I say I'm 20-25% interested at the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot to be sort of, a lot needs to happen for it to be at a desirable level, to be fair, because like you and most people out there, unless obviously you are an American, and you just enjoyed it because you've had this whole new experience in soccer and all that shit. But no, I think the timings have definitely dampened any enthusiasm, curbed any enthusiasm, shall I say, for any of the matches. And I think I watched the opening match. I think it was Mexico South Africa.
Didn't watch it.
I watched it just because it was the opening match, and I didn't even take that much interest in it. I think it was 2-0 Mexico, something like that. Again, who cares? One of the best matches that I watched was probably the Australia-Turkey match. I think the first match of their group, and I really enjoyed that. To be honest, it was unexpected for me to enjoy that match, but I think that's what sort of added to the excitement. It's like, oh, okay, it was a pleasant surprise, basically watching it. But yeah, I mostly watched first halves rather than full matches. In all honesty, even the England match, the first one I watched full. That was quite good. First half was very, very poor, and then second half when Tuchel made the changes, everything I think it was like 4-2 in the end against Croatia.
Yes.
So that was a good second half, and France. I think I haven't watched Spain, by the way. I haven't watched Spain this tournament at all. I think some of the timings have just been a bit shit, or their opponents have been a bit shit. I think was it Cape Verde or something like that. They held them back.
The first game, yeah,
they held them back. No. So again, underdog stories, everyone likes them, but you just think, if anything, you'd be more disappointed in Spain rather than happy for Cape Verde, for example. Like you said, the individual talents that they have. But yeah, from what I've seen, France, without a shadow of a doubt, look the strongest team. I think Argentina are good because of Messi and the team's working for Messi. There's no debate about that. But that will bring its own limitations throughout the tournament, and especially if Argentina. Do you know what? Let me just have a quick look. I know we're going to talk briefly about brackets and stuff, but Argentina's next game is against Cape Verde. Yeah, of course it is. Let's give Messi and then after that, it's either Australia or Egypt. So, yeah, it just sometimes you think, is there an agenda here? Like, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about that. All right, we'll talk about that at the end of the World Cup, and we'll see who won. If Argentina win again, then it's like, right, there's something going on here. Yeah, France.
It's a bit like Arsenal's Champions League route, isn't it? It's like, are Argentina getting a favoured draw? By the looks of it, they are, aren't they? I mean, they're not going to play anyone until the semis of any decency. Yeah. Whereas I think England have got all the hardest.
I think are they the same? They're in the same bracket.
England have got Spain, France.
Who's this?
Brazil, Mexico.
Oh, Congo, Democratic Republic, DR Congo. Yeah, Dr. Congo, basically. We face them, and then after that, it could be Mexico or Ecuador.
Brazil.
And then, we got Brazil in there, Ivory Coast.
And then Spain or France in it.
Yeah. So, Look, it's obviously going to be more interesting. I'm hoping it's going to be more interesting than the group stages because it felt like more of a formality. You know what I mean? The group stages, it felt like
it did.
All right, we're not going to give our best here. Let's just let's slow down on the entertainment. Let's just make sure that we're going to get through to the round of 32, and then we'll start playing. But now what we've just entered is the normal World Cup, like the previous World Cups that we've entered that sort of same round of 32 now. So again, kind of hoping that's going to make it a bit more interesting. But yeah, even the smaller teams, it could do absolutely. I mean, even the smaller teams, like you said, like Cape Verde, for example, or even Congo, they were quite impressive, quite resilient as teams. But and then Ecuador, for example, beat Germany.
Who was the team that beat Germany 2-1? Because I was really impressed with
Ecuador.
That. Was it Ecuador?
That was Ecuador, yeah. That was our boy Incapie. That was our boy.
That's right. Did they qualify then? They did, didn't they? Ecuador qualified.
Ecuador qualified, yeah. England could face them. They faced Mexico in the next round, so in the round 32.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good entertainment. I mean, I didn't watch the whole game. I watched the last 20 minutes of the game, and what I saw of it looked like Ecuador were playing as though their life depended on it, and that's what I want to see. It was so passionate. It was great to watch. They give everything. It really was as though they were it's just after it sounded, it was life or death for them. It was amazing the effort that they put in, and I thought, wow, great spectacle, and they got what they deserved in the end. It was brilliant.
Yeah, it
Brilliant
was.
end.
It was, and I think even the Germany goal should have probably not stood, because it was definitely a foul, high studs.
Yes, it was.
So
yes.
I felt like that was a bit wrong. But all in all, I don't think there's been many controversial sort of refereeing decisions. Apart from what I don't like, by the way, I didn't realize that it was a rule, that whole Almiron getting sent off thing because he had his mouth covered. I didn't know that was a rule. I don't know why it was implemented, in all honesty, because whatever happens between players, it's just stay between players and let them sort it out. It shouldn't be up to anyone else. If it's fans obviously chanting bullshit, then yeah, fair enough, do what you need to do. But I just feel like that whole thing, it made sense. It's like we don't really want anyone to. So I personally, I don't really care for that rule. I think that was just stupid red card. But I don't know. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I take it's is it going to be implemented in the Premiership?
Maybe not.
Is it going to be worldwide or not?
Maybe not this
Cup?
season. Potentially in the next sort of couple of seasons, they'll look to implement it. But again, I don't know how much difference or what that's going to do. Anything. It feels like that whole. You remember when Trossard got sent off for kicking the ball against City? I think it was, wasn't it? He got sent off for that. That's the type of rule that you don't really want in the fucking league. Do you know what I mean? You don't need that. I think it's just ridiculous. But at the same time, I understand why they've implemented.
Yeah, is the hand covering? Was that all brought about from the Real Madrid Vinicius Junior when they played in the Champions League and someone got? There was a lot of hoo-ha about it, wasn't there?
Yes. Yeah, I think it was a Benfica player or something, wasn't it? I think it was a Benfica player. I'm sure
it was someone. It was a Champions League, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
He was saying something, and then he ran over to the lines with the referee, and then it was all kicked off. So, is it coming about because of that? Do you think?
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
But I don't see why that's a thing, and it's someone's word against the other. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. It's just let the players handle it themselves. But whatever. So yeah, I didn't really care for that. But in terms of any sort of more controversial decisions, there wasn't that many. They're always going to make mistakes. But I feel like that Ecuador one was that was pretty shit, to be fair. That it wasn't a foul for them. Look. This World Cup, I think what's added to the misery of it, right? I think it's the fact that they've added the hydration breaks. Now, okay, look, I love basketball. I played basketball since I was a kid, throughout college and a little bit of uni as well. And I'm used to 4 quarters, right? I'm used to playing that type of game. However, football should not be touched by any rule of the sort, you know what I mean, where it's hydration breaks. Let's just be honest with ourselves. They're ad breaks. That's all it is. It's an end of a quarter, because that's the only way that most Americans understand sports. Many breaks in between, many stoppages, because their attention span apparently is fucking less than a gnat. So it's very, very disappointing that FIFA, a European-based footballing federation, has adapted this hydration break, and the fact that they've called it a hydration break, it's very insulting to the rest of the fans, of actual football fans.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree. I bet my house that you agree with what I'm saying. But
yeah,
please,
100%.
What do you think? Anything else that you sort of?
No. You've touched on it, and I think we're all in agreement that the hydration breaks. I do understand why they've kind of brought them in because of the heat, etc. But I understand as well that it's frustrating because it breaks the play up. You can go and get a drink when there's a break in play. You don't have to have a 2 to 3 minute hydration break. There's air conditioned stadiums. It's raining in some of them. It's it's not.
It's 19 degrees. It's 19 degrees.
Yeah,
so
exactly. It's not as though it's 40 degrees like Mexico or whatever like that. It's actually playable, and they've acclimatized now.
Yeah, it's
and you can
weather.
sense it. Everyone hates it. The crowd have sussed it out. I mean, and everyone hates it. Everyone's booing. They're not going to change it. So
No, it's too late.
We
now,
will just have to get on with it.
Yeah. No, of course. This isn't like, a petition to get rid of it from this World Cup. It's just hopefully enough people will speak out that it doesn't get implemented anywhere else in any other league. Because once that happens, then we are really fucked. Yeah. And as much as it is a people sport, at the end of the day, these idiots will make decisions without speaking to anyone. And guess what? We'll still buy the product, right? Because that's what we're used to, and that's where I think we should be the reason for this shit to stop if it ever happens. But I really, really hope they're taking this feedback, and I hope Infantino gets arrested just for being him, really, for being a tit. But anyway,
no, I mean, I was going to say, it's ruining it. I think when these rules get implemented, and the vast majority, 90% of the supporters around the world are against it, it's dampening my love for the game. It's taking away the beautiful game. It's like all this woke on TV and stuff like that with all these different pundits. I mean, I don't know what your take is on it, but you've got to be careful what you say. But at the end of the day, I just think it's not a man's it's not a man's sport, but it is a sport where I grew up with men watching the game, men playing the game, and men commentating on the game. And sorry to say moving with the times, but I just think when you start changing things, it just takes the love that I grew up with and the passion that I had for it when I was growing up. It's just taking it all away, and it's just ruining it. And you've just got to be like, you've got to accept their agenda, whatever agenda that may be, and put up or shut up kind of thing. And it's just not nice, and it's just not. It's making my love for the game kind of dwindle. Effectively, that's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like I said, this whole hydration break business. Just to wrap it up on it. I think it doesn't take 3 minutes to have a drink of water, right? It doesn't take buying insurance to have a drink of water, right? And that's my problem with it. And I'm glad that, for example, the BBC they don't do that. They don't have the hydration breaks. Obviously, they can't show breaks anyway, like ads. ITV, they've started doing the same thing. What they're doing is that they've inserted, like, in some matches they've inserted a competition. Enter this number or answer this question, and you may be in a chance to win however many thousands, which is fine. Like, it's what ITV do, and they've always done that with even on Saturday nights when they've had their like live events, for example, they've always inserted a competition, which again people don't mind because it's what the channel does. But they don't break away from the field of play. Right, you still see the players, you still see the coaches, and again, what's frustrating people more now is the fact, like you said, I think they caught onto it, is the fact that they have to wait, like, for the guy to put his hand up to be like, yeah, all right, it's time to resume play, and I think that itself goes against the whole hydration break theory. And again, we're talking average weathers of like 25, 26 degrees, which is more than fine to play football, right? You don't need a hydration break in between that. No. But there you go. If it was 30 seconds, 20 seconds, no one would care, right? You just go there, even if it's one ad inserted, it's 20 seconds break of play, you have a drink and you're laughing, you're going again. But yeah, it's just like, it's different rules like that which are really ruining it for everyone, really. And going back to what you're saying, I know exactly what you're referring to, and because I've got screenshots of what you're referring to. So, and the thing is, though, Stevie, you have to be careful with what's been said, because, and the whole agenda thing is like, okay, that's fine if you've inserted, for example, someone like Emma Hayes, right? She is a football coach. At the end of the day, right? Women's football, whatever you think about that, it is what it is. She knows football, right? That I don't mind, right? That is fine for me. I don't really care for that. But what I did mind, right, was the fact that they based her in a fucking kitchen, right? And they
there was an agenda on that.
It's like, what the fuck why am I watching this, right? You telling me you have to give her a fucking chalkboard? You have to give her a fucking chalkboard. Can't even give her an interactive whiteboard where she could literally just do a touch screen or put a massive fucking TV screen, wheel it in, right? You don't even have to put it on the wall, just wheel in a fucking TV and she can do the touch screen on there. But I felt like that was...
To me, the agenda is clear there. the agenda is clear. Now, whatever that agenda is, I don't know, because she wouldn't have purposely or forthrightly agreed to being in a kitchen unless she is in on the agenda. That's what I'm saying.
I'd be very surprised if she was, but I think the fact that she was invited, maybe that could be adding to the, I can't really say no to what they're going to do for me, right? I don't know. Again, that's...
Well, come on. It's like, to me, to you, to me, yeah. It's like, obviously, it's very controversial, this statement, but the COVID vaccine malarkey, right?
Yeah.
Now, to me, that was kind of an agenda. And this, for her to be placed in a kitchen with a blackboard, it's an agenda, which I don't really know because I've not really gone into it. I just know that it's definitely an agenda, a bit like the COVID vaccine, where you can, if you get your vaccine, you go on holiday. If you take your mask off and you eat, it's all right because the virus knows that you're eating, so it's not going to affect you. These kind of things are there in your face if you look at it. I haven't really delved deep into this agenda of the woman stood in a kitchen. But come on, why would you put a woman in a kitchen in a half time of an England game or 20 hydration break of the England game? Pure agenda. I'm not going to go any further on it, but let's move on from it. That's what I'm saying about it.
I understand what you're saying, but where I would sort of disagree is that she is in on it, because I don't think any self-respecting person, not just woman, any self-respecting person would fall into that stereotype, because at the end of the day, that's what they're doing. They're building her into a stereotype, right? Okay, yeah, you can talk football, but you can only talk football from the fucking kitchen, right?
See how you're making it sound even worse.
No, I know. I'm just trying to go to the extreme. It's like, if those fried eggs aren't done, we're not going to listen to your tactics. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't think, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't think she was in on it or anything like that. I think she was just dropped in it. It's like, oh fuck, I'm in the kitchen. Where's the fucking pancakes? No, let's fucking make the bread. Well, honestly, one thing that would have made it worse is if she had a fucking sink full of dishes, right? It's the only time, honestly, like I don't care, right? It is what it is. I just found it funny, and the thing is, it's not even us that are doing it. We're just commenting on it, like, we're commentating on what we saw on screen. Exactly. Like, that's shit. If they don't feel bad, why the fuck should I feel bad? I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I've got nothing to lose. I don't give a fuck about their agenda. It's just hilarious that they have a woman in the kitchen presenting fucking football tactics. But anyway, that's ITV for you. So. Brilliant, thank you for that. But like I said, it could have been worse, and it could have been some random fucking presenter who has no idea about football, right? And that could have made it even worse. But the fact that she was Chelsea manager, former Chelsea manager,
England manager,
whatever she was. So there you go. So again, she's got a bit of say there, and I respect that. But yeah, the whole kitchen thing was just too much. He just threw me off the whole fucking kitchen thing. Right, okay. No, we will move on from that. So yes. I know we touched on this a little bit as well, but like the best team for you so far from what you've seen, who would you put in the final right now before we start the round of 32?
Okay. I think France, to me, have been the most impressive team. Just because a few of the players obviously are from PSG and they've just won the Champions League, etc., etc. Obviously Mbappe, it looks like he's well up for it this year. And they've got obviously the Barcola, and they've got Doué, Dembele, great midfield, and obviously very solid defence. So I can't really look past them at this moment in time, but anything can happen. I mean, I've not really looked at who they can play in the quarterfinals or the next round. I haven't even looked at that, who they're playing. So is it Sweden or something daft like that, or someone's playing Sweden? Is it them?
So France play Sweden in the next match,
which is not easy. I mean, look, we'll beat them. We will beat them, but they've got the massive Yok. They've got fucking Isak. They've got a decent team. So Sweden on the day, you know what I mean?
So with France, they play Sweden, and then they would face either Germany or Paraguay. So let's assume it's going to be Germany. Yeah. So that's France-Germany in the next round, which is round of 16, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah,
round of 16.
Round of
Not
16.
the quarters then, yeah. So that'll be the 16.
Yeah, round of 16. And then if if they do that, they could face either Netherlands or Canada. Again, that's just if Netherlands and Canada win their next matches.
Isn't it?
Of course, it was just trying to see their path. And to be honest, the hardest match that they'll probably face will be France. It will be Netherlands in the quarterfinals. Yeah, in the quarters. Yeah. So that could be an interesting one, to be fair. But I can see France also going to the final, all the way to the final. It could even be a repeat of 2022, Argentina. France.
Argentina. Yeah.
So it could be a repeat of that. You never know. But again, of course, these are all ifs and buts. Like you said, all speculation. You know, this is just fun to see what could potentially happen. But from that bracket of France's side, who they could potentially face in the semis. They've got Belgium in there. They've got US in there, which I know it doesn't sound much, but they've been doing all right. You know, they've got Spain in there, Portugal, and like I said, Netherlands as well. So they've got a couple of decent matches potentially in the semis. They could come up with some big opponents. But yeah, I feel like I'm the same as you. I think France have probably been the most impressive, and I think the most clinical as well, where they need to turn it up, they turn it the fuck up. And I think Dembele turned it the fuck up, was it yesterday or the day before? So, with the hat-trick. So that was fantastic. And like you said, Mbappe is 100% up for it. And especially now that Messi's obviously, scoring and Mbappe's there as well. He's definitely going to want revenge for 2022. But, so we've got France as one potential finalist. Any who would you put up against them from what you've seen? You don't have to do a whole scientific calculation.
Yeah, I've not really watched Argentina and I've not really watched Brazil. So I can only go by what I've seen so far and what other pundits are kind of saying, especially yourself. There's always going to be a dark horse that comes,
of course,
unexpected.
Yeah.
Argentina won it last time and they lost the first game and then they just progressively got better. So you never know. Has anyone started really bad? Haaland scored quite a lot. Mbappe, Messi, all the major players are scoring for fun, so everyone's dangerous on the day, and it could just be like, on the way to the Champions League where you have that bit of luck, a bad refereeing call, so player gets sent off, a bad offside or whatever, and you're through to the quarters or the semis. So, as much as we're writing off England, I don't think that's fair though. I don't think that's fair to write off England, to be honest with you. Because at the end of the day, yes, this is what they do. But when they do turn it on, they're a good side. They're a strong side. And I think it just goes down to team selection. Like for me, for example, just real quick, I know we weren't talking about England, but for me, real quick, Mark Gahey has been a massive disappointment. Like every time I've watched him, he's been fucking terrible. Put John Stones back in. Put him back in. He worked fine. I think he's injured, isn't he?
Yeah, well, there you go.
No,
still put him in.
Yeah. Looking on so you sort of saying, has anyone else stood out? Well, the England on the day, and when they turn it on, they can play great. And unfortunately, they've played sort of South American teams, which, historically we never do well against anyway, because they don't play the European way. And if we played against Portugal, Spain, Germany, Italy, France, you'd probably find that we played better because everyone knows how everyone else is playing.
It's more of a rigid system, isn't it, with the European teams?
And getting back to England, I don't know about yourself, but it just strikes me that we play so similar to Arsenal. It's just Arsenal copied and pasted. Yeah. It's, playing it around the back, fucking about with it in defence.
It's too much,
set piece,
it's too much,
goals. It's unbelievable how much we like them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think just looking at the bracket, obviously, again, without shitting on any other team, but potential quarterfinal could be Brazil, England. That could happen. Argentina's sort of route. They've got Cape Verde next. They could face Australia or Egypt. After that, they could face Switzerland, Algeria, Colombia, or Ghana. Do you know what I mean? So again, that's an easy way in comparison to what England potentially have to face, which could be a very good, a very good Norway side. We could, again, Odegaard and fucking Haaland, they could be on it for that match. And they've got Brazil in there as well. So again, it's not like a massively difficult route, but it is a little bit more difficult than, for example, say an Argentina. Yeah, Argentina, because the rest of them still have to face some very big opponents in the quarters and the semis. So, yeah, it unfortunately it just seems like it's going one way. But I really hope that politics hasn't seeped that deep into it where they actually decide the winner of the World Cup. Because then at that point, what is the point of us watching this lovely sport? You know. Yeah. So look, I can definitely see France, Argentina in the final. I can even potentially see England in the final as well. If they come up against Argentina in the semis, I could see that happening. Again, I don't know. Because like I said, with Argentina, they're more of a Messi team. Messi-based team, not like an untidy team. Messi-based team, which they're all playing for him. Do you know what I mean? And all it takes is two players to just absolutely shut down Messi, and then everyone else is going to start panicking because they don't have that ball that they need to play. Very simplistic way of looking at it. Of course, there's other ways that this could go down, but that's the way I've seen Argentina. The two matches that I watched from them, they haven't impressed me. You know, they haven't impressed me with what they're doing because, again, they get the ball in the midfield. Messi's just chilling around, waiting for the ball to arrive. He gets the ball, does a quick little step, looks for another pass, and then pass it back to him. Do you know what I mean? So it's very, very easy, very predictable way that Argentina are playing right now. But the factor is, or the X factor is, that Messi is the greatest ever, and he can do anything with any type of ball, loose ball. You know what I mean? Any sort of bad touch, he can make things happen. So that will always be there. But my point is that, yes, they may have an easier route, but they could come up against an Ecuador, for example, or Colombia. Sorry, they could come up a very good Colombia side, and
they're fighting for their lives. Yeah.
No, exactly, and they've got nothing to lose. So they could even go in and injure Messi, for example, just to end that match. Don't want that to happen. Obviously, I'm just saying.
They used to try with Maradona over the years. They used to try and just kill him and take him out and everything. And
with all the best players, like even Mbappe, the first couple of matches he was getting taken down. I think it was Senegal. Yeah, Senegal, when they played Senegal. I think they were just hacking him down. But it's fine. Great players. That's what they're going to get. Make a ha. Yeah. Which is obviously the finish for yes, apparently. No, it isn't. I don't know. I actually don't know that. That was a lie. That's the German for yes.
Getting back to England, obviously
yes,
we want to wrap up the World Cup kind of thing.
Yeah.
My only issue with England is, as you probably well know, that going forward, I think we are pretty decent going forward. I think this is what worries me is the defence, and I've said it at the start of the campaign of the World Cup. I said we're good enough against the majority of teams, but against the better opposition, the likes of Argentina, France, Spain, the better forwards will kill our defenders. They will kill us. Our defence is the shits. It's the worst defence and goalkeeper we've probably had in the last 25, 26 years, honestly. It doesn't fill me with any confidence. You saw, like you say, you mentioned about Gahey, Concert. I mean, James is now injured. Livramento is injured. We've just got no... If you look at the Arsenal defence, and if you look at the defenders over the past, the Adams and things like that, obviously, but if you look at our Arsenal defenders, they're kind of rocks, aren't they? They're big, strong monsters, really. Ours are kind of like ball players that are okay, but they just don't. They're not very good defenders, in my opinion. And especially, I mean, the left back, the wing backs, but they've been asked to defend. And I just don't think we've got the capability to do anything past probably the quarters. And I think even, Dr. Congo and his mates will probably cause us problems.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, very physical teams. Ghana proved that, and I don't think we can match physical teams. I'm sorry, but we cannot. We have got too many whiners and moaners in our team. Bellingham, as good as he can be, he's a massive bitch when it comes to that. Why was he starting? Was it against Ghana? Wasn't it? Was it against Ghana where he was like, not against Ghana? I can't remember which match it was where he started on their coach. I think it was against Ghana, wasn't it?
It was Ghana.
Yeah, it was. And he started on their coach, and you think, mate, you need to stop being such a twat and just play the fucking game. We don't care. Right, you are not good enough to be acting like that. Do you know what I'm saying? And even like we've always talked about, we're banging on about it. Like even with someone like a Messi, for example, he's earned the right. If he's going to complain to the ref, he's earned the right because he knows that he's the best sort of thing. Whereas with Bellingham, just play the fucking game, mate. All right, if you're going to be the best, just prove it on the pitch. Like you did last night. He was the one who sort of got the team riled up again. Fair enough. Keep doing that. That's what we need you for. We don't need you to start being a little fucking twat in the midfield. Do you know what I mean? Just mourning at everything. Just fucking get on with it. And that's what I hate. I've always hated about the English players. It's the England team. We've got a bunch of fucking whiners, man.
It's the prima donnas, aren't they?
It's like, well, your legs are not more important than someone else's legs. You know what I mean? Just because you think it's a foul, that doesn't mean you have to go and bitch to the ref about it. Just fucking get on with it. God, excuse me. Just had to cough. But yeah, I think, defensively it is worrying. It really is. And the fact that I'm still wanting John Stones to start, even though he's injured, it says a lot, really. Reece James went down yesterday. I mean, that guy's made of fucking cheese, isn't he, really?
Yeah, he is.
So, melting in the fucking hot sun, and the hydration breaks didn't help him. But, yeah, I'm just not pleased with our fullbacks at all, and it's been like that for a long time, really. I think this is someone like a Ben White would have been perfect if he was still fit, but
yeah.
Again,
I mean, who else have we got? I mean, there's only Blue Dan Burn.
That's it.
Who else is there?
I think that Kwanzaa got injured as well, didn't he? Jarell Kwanzaa.
Someone else did, yeah.
He got injured. Yeah. So we literally have Mark Gahey only and Nico O'Reilly, which, to be honest, just fucking put him on. He's good enough, right? Defensively, he may be a little bit weak. So what? Change tactics. You know what I mean? Use Anderson or use Rice for that fucking for the extra defender.
Rice it's right back, aren't they?
It's madness. It really is madness because again, just pick your team properly. But yeah, I think England's downfall has always been England. It's been no one else. It's always been England. Whether it's been the coach, whether it's been the players not performing to their standard, it's always been their own downfall. So we've got no one else to blame. And I feel like this is a good year for them to push for a World Cup win. But let's see what happens. They'll probably start folding when they see Messi on the pitch, like, ooh, Lionel. Yeah. It's like, shut the fuck up and just play the game, you idiots. Fuck, asking for the shirt. Shut the fuck up, right? If I was Messi, I would have made it clear from the beginning of the World Cup, right? No one's getting my fucking shirts, right? This could be the last World Cup that I play, and all these shirts could mean that I win the World Cup at the end. I want to keep them all. Stop asking me for them. Fucking hell, honestly, a bunch of fucking babies out there running up to him like, ooh, give me your shirt. Act a fucking professional, right? Do it in the tunnel. Don't just fucking in the middle of the pitch where everyone can fucking see you. I know you. Yeah,
you're giving your power away straight away, aren't you?
It's honestly,
all right. He is one of the greatest. So what? Get on with it.
If you're on the field facing him, right? He's an opponent first and foremost, and then he is the greatest, right? That's it. That's exactly the way it should always be. Oh, fucking everyone's starstruck. Like, oh my God, look at him. What? No, go tackle him. All right, that's your job. Go fucking tackle him. So, but yeah, again, that's nothing on Messi, by the way. That's just everyone else around Messi who just act like twats.
You understand? I mean, the England players did it in 1986 again with Maradona. They just kind of stood off him at the halfway line and just watched him absolutely demolish us.
Fucking 2-3 players on the twat.
That's what the greatest do.
Yeah, exactly. And they put the fear in without actually, without even fucking starting the match yet. So I just really hope if it gets to Argentina-England semi-final, I really hope that we're just going 100%. I feel like as a squad, we're a lot better. We've got better players as a full squad. Yeah. But obviously they've got the difference maker, which, we can't compete
with. And against our defence.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, you're kind of hoping that if out of all the games in the tournament, that's going to be his only one-off game where he doesn't score, he gets unlucky and everything hits the post. But again, sometimes that's what you need.
Hopefully he's peaked too soon.
Exactly. Thank you. That's the most succinct way of saying it. There you go.
Yes.
Speaking of 39-year-olds, let's speak of a 40-year-old in Cristiano Ronaldo. And I think after this we'll wrap up the World Cup. We'll talk about Arsenal and we'll chat a bit of F1 from today. But yeah, I mean, look, talk about desperation, right? It's been 3 matches now, 4 matches, 3 matches, hasn't it? Where I have not seen anything from Portugal to believe that they're going to go any further than the next round. I think they're going to be knocked out from the round of 16s. So they won't make it to the quarters, I don't think. I don't know how much you've seen of them. Have you watched them at all? Watched any of the matches?
Very, very little. Like I said, I've not watched any World Cup from start to finish. So Portugal might be, I think they've had like after clock times, or I've been working or I've been out, but no, I think Portugal, I think it's just in their nature. We've seen it with the players in the Premiership. They're not nice people, they'll do anything. The dirty cheats, and Bruno Fernandes kind of epitomises that when he's in the Premiership, and he wanted the record of the most assists, and you can see that's kind of endemic throughout their team. The way that they play, they're all selfish fuckers. They all want to be the greatest or the best or whatever at that moment in time. And I think Ronaldo, obviously, as good as he was, it's catching up with him. And it's evident that, but they're all seem to, pass to me, I need to score. It's all for the cameras kind of thing, isn't it? And you're not going to go very far like that. If you don't play as a team, you're not going to go very far.
At the end of the day, I know it's cliche, but it is a team game. So, you have to score for the team first and foremost, and then think about your own record. Just looking at the first 3 games, draw against Dr. Congo, and they won against Uzbekistan, which, again, that was always a given, 5-0. And then they drew against Colombia, which, again, it shows that any decent opposition can really hold Portugal back, because they don't really know how to get out of it. And the fact that Ronaldo started screaming, "I'm back," at the camera when he scored 2 goals against Uzbekistan is just, that's just complete embarrassment, really. To say that you're back is completely embarrassing. And no, I think I lost a little bit of respect for him after this, after the first few matches, just the way that he whined in his first match against Congo. I watched that live all the way through, and I was just not impressed with what he was doing. A few chances where obviously Bruno Fernandes was in the right place to tap the ball home or have a better shot. Ronaldo was there trying to do some wonder hits and trying to get something in. I don't care for it. It's a team game. You let your team score first. You make sure that you win the match first, and then you think about doing your own personal records. That's all that matters when it comes to football. That's it. The best players, they have been part of a best team. Messi with his Xavis and Iniestas and Busquets. Yes, he was a difference maker, but he had the team around him. He didn't score all the goals. He trusted other team members to do that for him as well. So it's very disappointing. And I know obviously we in our group we have a massive Ronaldo fan. Where excuses are made, justifications are made, screenshots have been sent, links to prove that he's the greatest, that stuff. But unfortunately, I think his actions on the field in the first 3 matches of this World Cup has said a lot more. And I really hoped that he would have matured enough to be like, do you know what? The only way I'm going to win the World Cup is if these players trust me enough to play for me. And I for them, like Messi, for example, yes, he gets the ball and they'll trust him to shoot outside the box rather than them take the shot. But like we said, he's the best in the world. He can do that. But at the same time, he will always find the pass. If there's another player running on, he will find that pass and he will make it. And he will not care less who scores a goal as long as his Argentina team make it to the final and win the World Cup. That's it. Because that's all they're going to remember. Messi won 2 World Cups. Not Argentina. Messi won 2 World Cups. That's because the team play for him. But I'm just very, very disappointed in Portugal. And do you know what? They've got Croatia next, so I was kind of kind to them. They probably might struggle against Croatia. That's
Portugal will, yeah.
Yeah, I think they will as well. Because again, Croatia, they've got nothing to lose. They're like, shit, we made it this far. We might as well just go all in.
Yeah,
really.
they're not a bad side, to be fair. I think they've started pretty badly, but sometimes you do in international games. It just take a while for teams to gel.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they might do better. But getting back to the likes of Messi and Ronaldo, I think as well, I want to link Arsenal and one of our so-called better players and put him in this sort of bracket that we keep talking about. And I think I'm probably doing like Messi a disservice here, but obviously Saka, that you kind of see the difference, can't you? What we go on about week after week, month after month about Saka and his inability to see a pass, his selfishness, inability to shoot when he should pass and pass when he should shoot, kind of thing. And look, Saka's never ever going to be mentioned again in Messi's kind of conversation, and I think that's probably where I feel so frustrated that I want people like Saka, Ranieri, Darman. I want them to be as good, if not on the same level, and they're never ever going to be. And that's my frustration with Saka, and that's borne out through because I want them to be like that. I want them to be like Henry, where the C passes Perez, Bergkamp's, just a bit of knowledge, a bit of intelligence.
It's a bit of an unrealistic expectation, no? I think
it is, but this just shows you. I mean, obviously, I know it's an Arsenal podcast, and what I'm talking about is that we've been spoilt over the years with the Bergkamp, the Henrys, Perez, etc., and then we've now got this generation of Saka, where he is kind of our only hope, and he's nowhere near that greatness of the Invincible team. He's nowhere near it, and that's what frustrates me, because I want us to sign players, to get players that are going to elevate us to that Invincible type of team of where we played. The Man Cities when Guardiola kind of took over, that was like that was as good as the Invincibles when they got 100 points that year, and Saka's nowhere near that.
No,
he's nowhere near it.
No, and I think even if Saka wins, Arsenal win the next sort of 2 league titles, I still don't think Saka would be in that conversation, in all fairness, because again, it's not like this title was won because of Saka. Do you know what I mean? Yes, he may have been a contributing factor, but so were 12 to 15 other players, right? Or 18 other players. They were contributing factors as well. Like Trossard, Trossard had more impact on our team last season than Saka ever did last season.
Of course he did.
Do you know what I mean?
Percentage-wise, Saka probably contributed 20%.
In comparison to what Leo was doing, like maybe in the 30s or 40s, whatever it is, right? Again, he made changes. Like, yes, okay, of course, we're not saying that Leo had a great season, but he came up clutch when we needed him. And again, the impact that he had in comparison to Saka was just, I thought it was a lot better. And people are going to disagree, whatever it is, I don't care. Like, still hold him as the golden boy, fine, that's fine. But again, realistically and statistically, it doesn't add up. He doesn't add up, and yes, like I said, we won the league, but does that make him a world-class player now? I still don't think it does, because again, of the impact that he didn't have. Gyökeres had a better impact or a bigger impact on our team. Do you know what I mean? And if anyone denies that, by the way, when you're talking about Gyökeres and Saka, right, they need slapping, because it's very evident who had the better, who had the more impact in our season.
He was more influential in the game, wasn't he?
Exactly. Of course he was. And again, Saka was injured. Okay, well, that's the whole point of the contributor. Do you know what I mean? Like, Gyökeres wasn't injured. And he contributed. Do you know what I'm saying? All the other players that weren't injured, they contributed to our win. So anyway, but we're not going to have that type of player, to be honest. And I don't think our style of play requires that sort of player. Which, by the way, makes it a good segue now to talk about some Arsenal transfer rumours. Because the World Cup is the World Cup, and it's going to carry on for another 19 days. So yeah, look, Stevie, a few rumours out there. Anything that sort of caught your eye of interest? Like, I like what I'm hearing here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a couple of teams that have done a bit of business. I think Leeds have done a bit of business. Obviously, Man City look like they're going to be sign Elliot Anderson. And I expect us to do something now. Am I expecting wholesale changes? Probably not. I think I'm probably expecting a couple of departures as well, like probably more significant departures, the likes of Jesus, Norgard, potentially Martinelli, potentially Trossard. I'm expecting some decent players, maybe Nwaneri, that potentially are moving on. So if 4 or 5 leave, I want 4 or 5 replacements. I don't want 2 or 3 replacements. So the names that have been sort of bandied around are the usual suspects, the likes of Rodgers, the likes of Barcola, Budabi or Tonali and Guimaraes. We've had all these on the pod, on our WhatsApp group of names that potentially are we link with, but I'm not going to get excited about anything like we normally do. You sit here every day, you're looking at transfer news. Nothing's probably going to happen, really. I mean, Elliot Anderson's probably going to be the major one, because everyone's known even before the end of the season that Man City were going to try and sign him, and the World Cup is taking centre stage. Whether are we going to sign Rodgers? Who knows? I'd like Rodgers, don't get me wrong, but he's not having a greatest of World Cups, but I don't care about that because we know what he can do in the Premiership. So Rodgers to me is, and Alvarez, obviously, Rodgers, Alvarez, Barcola, Nico Williams, I've heard of Vinicius Junior, all these names, they're great, and we do need them, and I'd love to sign them all, but we can't.
No.
So who do you really want? We don't know. I mean, if they said Guimaraes is signing tomorrow, would it really set the, probably no one's going to be that excited, but he's a decent player, but he's not going to set the world alight. He's not a Vinicius Junior, he's not a Barcola, he's not someone that you're going to think, wow. What's happened to the Real Madrid player that we were linked with in January? What's he called? Rodrigo, is it?
Yeah, the right back, right wing or whatever it is.
It's all quiet on him. Could that be a surprise? Could we get him? I don't know.
Look, man, the whole Vinicius Junior thing for me, I think that's just crazy talk. I don't think that's going to happen.
I'd love him. I would. I hate. Don't get me wrong. I know we spoke about him over the past. He's a fucking cunt, isn't he? He's horrible. He's one of those players that he's just got not a nice way about him. Yeah. But if he's in your team, he's a game changer, 100%.
Potentially. I don't know, man. It's just the whole difficulty of gauging a player when he's fresh in the Premier League. I don't know what's going to happen. He may struggle. His knees may fucking blow out because he's not used to the running. I don't know. It's that, again, I know we discussed this briefly, I think, the last pod or the pod before. It's a very risky business to shell out that type of money for Vinicius Junior because he's not going to be any less than 120 million, right? That's very conservative numbers, right? He's going to be a lot more than that. And especially from Real Madrid, no, I just don't think we're going to afford him, A, and B, I don't think it's a very safe investment to bring in Vinicius Junior. That's just, again, personal opinion on that one. I can't really see him at Arsenal, not because we're not a big team, but I just don't think he fits the mold of the player that we're looking for, or the culture or the type of player that the culture of player that we need. Someone like a Rodgers, yeah, because he'll slot into the team. He's a straight up replacement for Eze in a match, for example. You take one out, you put the other one in. So again, Rodgers is someone that I wouldn't mind. He's still young-ish. What is it, like 26, 24, something like that?
24, yeah.
24? So he's still a young player. I don't think he'll be a replacement for Odegaard because I don't think he can do what Odegaard does. And Odegaard isn't as physically strong as a Rodgers, for example. So yeah, I think we just need to manage expectations. And I think someone like Barcola, for example, yeah. All right. What's the price tag on him? What's been mooted? What is like 60 million or something? 50, 60 million?
70, 80. Yeah.
Is that guaranteed? No, that's a lot of money. But then, like you said, if he's going to be the only signing, then absolutely I don't want him. I definitely want other people to come in. Like we said before, left winger is 100% the place that we need to invest. And if you said to me 120 million on Kvaratskhelia, right, which again that's a dream signing, right? That's a dream signing. I still would say it is a massive risk because it's a different league, a more demanding league, right? But because of the construct of player that he is, like physically, he could potentially be very good. Whereas someone like a Vinicius Junior, you look at his construct and you think, you're probably going to get flung around. Like someone like a Dan Burn, he may not catch you, but when he catches you, he's going to flow you around. You know what I mean? We're not messing about in the Premier League. So that's the sort of fear. And again, a very, very basic and simple way of looking at it. Of course, there's other things that the player can bring financially and the shirt sales. Absolutely. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the football itself, right? Of course, I want a superstar. Shit, if we're going to afford Mbappe, going for Mbappe. Shirt sales will make that money back in a week. Do you know what I mean? But is he the right fit of player for what we need right now?
Yeah. I think he would be. Look, don't get me wrong.
Mbappe would be, by the way. Yeah, that was the wrong example.
Mbappe,
yeah, he definitely would.
But with Vinicius, I mean, you're right. I think that is he the right type of player? And I think with which we've seen in the past with Arteta, he's risk averse. He's not really a risk taker. Whether that'll change now, the fact that we've won the Premiership.
He doesn't like flair players. He doesn't want players to use their brain too much.
No, he doesn't. He wants them robotic. And will someone yes, he'd be brilliant if we could get someone like Vinicius that would come on and change the game, but he's not going to want to sit on the bench. He's going to be a starter every game. So there's this Jeremy Monga guy from Leicester who, in all honesty, looks the star in the making. I don't know, he's like another kind of Doku type of player.
Young guy though, right?
Yeah, he's only 15 or 16.
Yeah,
so again, it's probably one for the future, but he looks amazing.
No, that's fine. Really but I'm sorry. I'm just saying, like, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about, like, players 15, 16 who could potentially do something in the next 4 or 5 years? Or are we talking retaining the title for next season? That's the balance really that, like, Arteta and Arsenal will be looking at, really. It's like, what can we do just enough to win or retain next season, but then look to the future as well? Which, again, I can't imagine being an easy question. So
I think my concern next season is going to be, again, the amount of games we're going to be playing and the workload on the likes of Saliba, Rice, Saka, etc. We saw what happened last season, and if we have that same scenario next season, I think that's when it'll come unstuck. If we haven't got the right replacements, that's why I like the sound of Tonali, because Tonali and Rice could flip and could alternate, and the drop off would be no drop off whatsoever. With Madueke, I'm not really he hasn't really had a great World Cup. I know he did all right, but I'm still not 100% convinced with him. So do we need another replacement on the right? The left certainly needs looking at, but I just think that the next season, with us all possibly potentially going out for, the Champions League and to retain the Premiership, I just think we're going to have too many games to contend with, and I think the players, like Rice is suffering now for England, and I just think he's like he gives everything, and he looks like he's blown on empty half the time, but he still manages to sort of get a tackle in, run up and down the pitch 100 times. I just think that next season I'll catch up with him. I do, and I just think we need to have the right players ready to come in, and this is why we said last season that it was the most important, and it was, and it worked out really well because we won the Premiership. But I do think this season, to retain it, we're going to have to do something similar personally, and the right players will have to come in. None of the Norgards. I don't want players that are just going to come in and play 1 or 2 games the whole season. What's the point? If he doesn't trust him, then Rice was knackered, Saka was knackered, Odegaard was knackered. Luckily, we had the players to come in. This season, the season coming up, I think we need to have the right players, and I want Tonali personally. I want Tonali.
It's made it a bit more difficult, the fact that we're coming off we will be coming off a World Cup year as well, which, again, that's what concerns me more than anything, to be honest. The fact that we're not going to have the likes of Rice, Saka, potentially Saliba, Gabriel starting for our, starting for us, really, especially in the first month, like August, maybe through to mid-September.
15 players or something away on for the World Cup. That's a lot.
That's a lot of players, mate. That's a lot, and I'm talking like these are players who could potentially go deep. And like Rice, for example, if they go all the way to the final, I mean, that's literally less than a month break, which they're going to obviously extend that for him, and which means he's going to miss the beginning of the season. I think I read somewhere or heard somewhere that Saliba was going to do his back surgery.
Exactly.
Again, that's going to be either now, if he's not playing for France, like, if he's sort of gone away from France, which I don't think he has. But again,
be a couple of months out, won't it?
Very concerning. Very concerning. Gabriel, all it takes is one time for him to injure his fucking knee during international break, which, unfortunately he already did this season. All it takes is one time, and plus, even if Brazil go deep, he's still going to miss the opening few matches or the opening weeks of the season. So that's the concerning part, right? That is the balance that needs to be struck between, okay, we need someone who can jump in for a Saliba, for example. Mosquera, he's good, but at the same time, you're like, okay, but we don't have Ben White and Timber, so what the fuck are we going to do there? So do you see what I mean? So that is the most concerning part. It's not about the players coming in, which they need to anyway, not because we need to strengthen the team further, but we actually need cover for the players who are not returning. So it's a very tricky.
It is.
It's like we won the season in sort of like the worst year to win the season in a World Cup year, because the extra games, the extra fatigue, missed matches. We could fall back our first 3-4 games. We could fall back. We could lose all 4 of them. Make a terrible start. But again, obviously not, touch wood and all that stuff. But again, these are the most concerning parts right now, because from what we've heard, obviously it's only rumours, no one's set in stone. And as we said before as well, we don't think anything's going to happen until after the World Cup. That whole Anderson thing, by the way, the 130 million, I think that is the most outrageous price tag I've ever seen for any fucking player ever. It is outrageous for him to be worth that much. I don't think so.
I think the ironic thing is, I think the figure that they've said is 116 million, and the ironic thing is, I know they said it could rise to 130 maximum, but the ironic figure that they've agreed on is 116.
Yeah. One less than the charges. One less than the charges.
Yeah, well, it's 160, isn't it? Yeah, I think.
But sorry, it's 116 now after this particular purchase. Yeah.
But that's all gone quiet, hasn't it?
Oh, mate, that's been forgotten about. That's been forgotten about.
That
now.
needs to be implemented before the season starts.
It's not going to happen
through the season.
It's not going to happen.
Well,
I don't think so. I think it's gone. It's gone on too long now.
Didn't we? Pep left. He must have known something.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But I just don't think. I think it's gone on too long now, where to the point where people are like, all right, nothing's going to happen. They've just accepted it. I really hope something does happen, of course, but not holding my breath. So yeah, look, in terms of transfer rumours, there have been rumours, but nothing, like we said, nothing's been set in stone. Some of the players that have been talked about, like the Tonali's and Guimaraes, and again, you're only going to get one or the other from Newcastle. You're not going to get both.
You wouldn't get them both. No.
If I had to choose, I'd probably go with Tonali. I think he's a little bit better technically. I think Bruno's got a bit of a and Bruno's got a bit of a fucking mean streak about him, and he's like a jackass sometimes. He gets red carded and whatnot. So not the most reliable player. He may be good tactically for what Arteta needs.
I think he's too similar to. I said it on our WhatsApp group. I think he's too similar to Zubimendi. That stature, that body frame. I think with Tonali, he's more similar to Rice. And that's what we want cover for. We don't want cover for Zubimendi because we've got other players that can fit in for that, like Miles Lewis-Skelly, etc. Yeah. And I just think Zubimendi and Guimaraes are too similar. So what would that say if we bring Guimaraes in? What's Zubimendi going to do? So that's why I want Tonali to come in to rotate with Rice, and then you can keep Zubimendi in there.
Because for me, Zubimendi, I think he was very good last season. Yes, of course, he had his dip by the end, but come on. Shit, that whole midfield was falling apart at one point. So let's not sleep on Zubimendi just yet. Let's see what the season brings. But I really think that he's gonna be very impactful this season for us.
Can't believe he's not getting the game. I can't believe just quickly on Zubimendi and David Raya. I mean, David Raya wins the Premiership, Golden Glove, etc.
Champions League finalist.
Should be the Spanish number one, but they've got this guy in from
Unai Simon.
Bilbao,
isn't it? I think is it Bilbao?
He's a decent. Yeah, I understand with the keeper situation, you don't change. He's been the number one for 4 years, but
I don't think.
David Raya,
I don't think.
And then we've got Zubimendi not actually getting a game.
I don't think Unai Simon has put. I don't think he's done too much wrong for him to not be considered.
No,
do you know what I'm saying? If he had a couple of slips, it's like, we'll trust the Premier League winning goalkeeper, but it's fine. Look, obviously I want Raya to play, but at the same time, it's like shit. He's going to be rested. Like he's going to be fine. He's going to be probably training at some point. Oh, he's still training with the team, so he's still getting his activities and stuff. But fuck it, if he needs a rest, he's going to rest. Who gives a shit? I just wish. The other players could do that, like a Saliba and Gabriel, for example, because those two, man, if they don't return healthy or to full fitness, then we are fucked.
We're going to need some defenders, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely, we're going to need defenders. We definitely need a right back and a left back, right?
Yeah.
And I know we've said, we need a left winger desperately. We need potentially another right winger to cover Saka and Madueke or whatever. But anyway, we're going to talk about that closer to the season. But yeah, okay. Look, before we wrap it up, real quick, I just want to touch on the Formula One Austrian GP. Did you watch it?
I did, my friend. I did, and yeah.
What did you think of it?
So obviously we spoke yesterday. I missed the qualifying, but I did actually catch up with it, and I watched it. I watched the highlights of the qualifying, which was great. You didn't know which way to look, did you? It was like kind of who's on pole, and
it was so good.
Still didn't know. It was great. It was great. Grand Prix, yeah, it was really entertaining. Obviously, with us being Ferrari fans, kind of thing, it wasn't as great for us. But as a race itself, I thought it was one of the best I've seen for many years.
Yeah.
In fact, because obviously the old rivalry with Verstappen and Hamilton sort of came into play. I thought it was a good little battle between them two. A shame Hamilton obviously fucked up with the tyres and things like that, because obviously he had no answer to Verstappen on the second time he came round for him. But you know, I thought it was pretty good. I was a bit. I mean, it was really, really interesting towards the end with Antonelli. I thought, you know, is he going to go and take Schumacher out? Which, you know, with him being so young and desperate,
Verstappen, not Schumacher.
Did I say Schumacher? I keep saying it, don't
you said Schumacher, but it's fine though. It's fine, like
because they're very similar. So I hate them both. But
you don't hate them. You love them, really. You love to hate them.
Yes. No, I think it was a great race and one of the best I've seen in a long time.
It was. I agree, and I think the battle, like the sort of top 4 to top 6, were really good, because like I know Liam Lawson was involved in there a little bit. Hadjar was involved in there a little bit as well. And
McLarens were in it as well, weren't they? I mean, obviously they've come back into it a bit.
They did by the end. I think obviously they were much stronger than the Ferraris. I think, to be honest with you, with the Ferraris, I think they struggled with the softer tyres. Like I know the C3, for example, was the hard tyre, or the C4 was a hard tyre, but that's actually one of the softest in comparison. So they do really struggle with tyre maintenance. And with Hamilton, I don't understand why they put him on the used softs, to be honest with you, on his second stop.
Well, he did three stops as opposed to the others 2, so he could have actually won the race if they'd have kept him, but he was struggling on the hards, wasn't he? So that's why.
But the thing is, they changed him to hards, and then they changed him to softs, obviously, when the VSC came out. I don't know. I think that kind of ruined his rhythm, to be honest with you. I think he would have. Yeah, I think so. I don't. Yeah. I think there was like over 30 plus laps to go. For him,
it was 41, wasn't it, when they brought him in and put him on the softs or something?
So there's a lot of laps to go for him to go on the soft tyres, and that confused me a little bit, to be honest. And I think that's what kind of ruined it a little bit, and I think they're trying to do what they did in Barcelona with the with the stops, but they just didn't have the pace. They did not have the pace.
He gave up after that. He didn't really bother chasing Piastri down. Did he?
No point.
Probably.
There was no point. I think
he wasn't going to catch the Mercedes either after that. So
no. I think bring the car home safely at that point. And look, I think I'm just been very disappointed with Charlie. In all honesty, I think he's been very, very, very disappointed. And I don't know whether the car development has changed more towards Hamilton. And it's helping him.
I think it has, personally.
I think so, because what Hamilton was complaining about last season was brakes, and I think they've gone on to Brembo brakes this year.
And I think a new engine this weekend though as well.
They did. Which again, you kind of think that would help in terms of power, but apparently it's not nowhere close to the Mercedes engine, which obviously the McLaren and Mercedes have. But even the Red Bull, even the Red Bull powertrain, the Ford engine, that was really nice as well. Verstappen had a lot of pace.
Hadjar was pretty good.
Oh yeah, Hadjar was really good as well. Yeah, absolutely. I think he got caught up near the end against Ocon.
Norris, wasn't it? Norris caught him right at the end, didn't he?
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but because Ocon had sort of was blocking him, he was blue flagged, but Ocon wasn't moving at all, and obviously that slowed down Hadjar. But yeah, I think by the end it got really interesting, and like you said, George won it comfortably. And I'll be honest, as much as I like to complain about George and just call him a little bitch, I think he deserved to win. Even though I think his qualifying lap probably shouldn't have stood. He should have started second. Even if he started second, by the way, I think he would have had Charlie by the first corner.
He probably would have, yeah.
So I think if that was the case, then there would have been absolutely no asterisk next to his win. I don't think there is. But at the same time, he didn't lift, right? We saw the telemetry, he didn't really lift. And again, but on the breakdown, I think it was Anthony Davidson before the race started, he interviewed Russell. And basically, the screen that Russell saw was flashing yellow. It wasn't diagonal flashing. So obviously flashing yellow means single waved, and then diagonal flashing means double waved. And to be fair, when you actually slow it down and you see his lap when he sees the yellow flag, it is a flashing yellow single, and he lifted for that. But look, it was a good race from him, and I'm kind of glad that the championship hasn't been decided and Antonelli isn't just running away with it. And the fact that Verstappen's getting some points and Hamilton's getting some points, obviously today was very disappointing not to finish on podium. But yeah, I think that's something for Ferrari to go back and think about. And it's clear that Hamilton is the faster of the two drivers so far this season. I don't think Charlie's got any answer to him.
No.
Whether it's the braking
But I think
system.
we said this. I don't know. We couldn't say it last year when
We did. We said it last year.
We did, but I think we couldn't say anything in Hamilton's favour because he was the new driver at Ferrari. So he had to probably bide his time to think. Right, look, next year you're going to kind of be not the main driver, but even though
we're going to listen to you to your developments. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And it looks like it's proven that was obviously the reason why he's leading him in the championship. But yeah, I think. But I do, bizarrely, Charlie does actually have a better. He has a better record. Not a better record, but he notoriously does quite well at Silverstone. So I do think that it'll be a decent race next week.
Next weekend, and I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait for it personally. I think it's going to be great.
Same. I think at some point next season we need to start thinking about getting some tickets for Silverstone. To be honest,
100%.
Because it would just be an epic race.
The father-in-law's going to the Belgian one.
Very nice. He's going to Spa.
Oh, the Ardennes River, Ardennes Forest, where it's always going to rain.
Beautiful. I would love to go
they
to
didn't
Spa.
ask me. I wonder why.
Well,
but guess where I'm going on Thursday night?
Where are you going?
I'm going to what? I can't believe I agreed to it.
Go on.
It's an evening with Harry Redknapp.
No way.
Yeah.
Where?
At the Billingham Forum.
Wow.
I know,
That's
I was
weird.
like, you'd be talking about Tottenham shit, and I'll be like taking my little Arsenal flag in there.
Well, do you have an Arsenal cap? If you have an Arsenal cap, just put that on, mate. Put that on. It's fine.
Yeah.
But we'll just wrap up on the F1 because, like I said, it was a good race, and Antonelli's still leading. Yeah, Russell not far behind.
He's not. He's about 50. Is he 50 points ahead or something like that?
Yes, because Antonelli got third, didn't he, in the end?
Yeah.
So he still got podium, still got enough points. I think it was like 15 points or something. So it should be a good race next weekend, and I do have hopes for Ferrari, to be honest with you, and I think especially for Lewis, because obviously home track, he's doing well. He's been doing better in the Ferrari than ever. So I think it should be a very good race, an interesting one. And hopefully we don't get the 2021 battle again, like Lewis versus Verstappen, where Verstappen went flying into the barriers, because that was just nasty, man.
Yeah.
But it was a good one. I do like Austria. I think it's one of my sort of favorite tracks. And honestly, I would love to do a track day around Austria because it just looks fantastic. It really does.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else, by the way, you want to add before we leave it?
I think that what I was going to say then, I think if Hamilton can if he can keep there or thereabouts, if he's 100 points behind, come 5 or 6 races ago, I think that's too much. But I think if he can keep his momentum going, if he doesn't get himself too despondent, depressed, by getting too many points behind, but if he could win another couple and the others in front of him don't win a couple, and if he can keep there or thereabouts, he might have a decent chance this season. But it's going to be hard, very, very hard to sort of just. I think with Mercedes, they're doing like what McLaren did last year. I think where they kind of run away with it, but Verstappen caught them up towards the end, and if Lewis can have any kind of hope of claiming that 8th world title, then I think he's going to have to sort of do it with Verstappen and stick around and give it his all, because it's his final year, really.
I was just going to say on that one, I think it depends. If he finishes second in the driver standings, for example, and let's say Ferrari win the Constructors' Championship, for argument's sake, right? I think that's a very good opportunity for Hamilton to stick around, because it would have proven that his developments or his expertise has helped the team to improve.
It's the age, though, isn't it?
It is the age, but shit. I mean, Alonso's 41, 42 now, so it's irrelevant, really. And again, it showed today that he was still on it. Against Verstappen, a current, sort of a more recent world champion. He stuck with him, and the battle was fantastic. So do you know what I mean? So again, it was like peak Hamilton still in there somewhere. I just feel like he needed the confidence of the car, and I think he's got that this season. Just maybe some of the strategies that you can't really rinse and repeat strategies from track to track. Each track is designed differently for a specific purpose. So you have to do strategies with that in mind. But yeah, overall, really, really, really impressed by today's race, to be honest with you. I really enjoyed it, and I was quite happy that Max finished second. I think maybe a couple more laps, he probably would have had Russell.
But he would have lost it, he'd have come third.
So it would have been, or like I said, Antonelli would have.
Do you know what, as well, though? I think that if Max was it was third chasing Antonelli down, and I think it was like second from last corner, he'd have probably outbraked him on one of them. I think Antonelli just gave him too much respect.
Yeah.
Because I think he was close enough to outbrake him, and once he got in in front of him that have either took each other out or he would have had to yield and give the place to Agnelli. I think Verstappen would have done that.
I think he would have done that, yeah. I mean, he showed when he chased Lewis the second time and how far he pushed Lewis out in comparison to what Lewis did. So again, I mean, yeah, of course, because it's
Hamilton's
aggressive
a gentleman,
racing.
isn't he? That's the thing.
Yeah, it's aggressive racing at the end of the day. Verstappen wants to win by any means necessary, which is fine. Like, that's some champions are like that. Whereas, like you said, the gentleman driver like Lewis Hamilton, he's got a mean streak about him, but maybe not like that, like a Verstappen does. But yeah, it was fun, and I look forward to Silverstone, and obviously we'll be back to discuss more rumours and more World Cup stuff throughout the week.
Quickly on the World Cup one, I just want to finish on one last ex-Arsenal player having a decent World Cup.
Kolasinac.
No. Come on, I'll let you have a couple of guesses and I'll put you out of your misery.
Tomiyasu.
No.
Ex-Arsenal player. Give me the team.
Yeah.
Oh, is that too obvious?
If I give you the team, you'll get it. So, okay. So I'll give you a bit more of a clue. His surname is 4 letters.
Surname is 4 letters. Pepe or something.
Yes.
Shit, Ivory Coast. Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire,
yeah.
Nice.
They're still in it, by the way.
Yes. Hold on, I've got it up here. So 2 seconds. So Côte d'Ivoire, they play Norway in the next match.
There you go.
And the winner of those will play either Brazil or Japan in the round after. So
yeah, I just thought he's got a few goals, hasn't he?
He wasn't a bad player, man. I think the
better than Madueke.
Look, the price tag that he came in at, we expected a Messi or a Ronaldo to come in, right? But obviously that was never going to happen, and the circumstances that he came in was a bit dubious, so that added to the hate. But he was never a bad player. Like, if he was a left winger, shit, he's better than both of our left wingers right now. So
yeah, he is. Yeah,
again,
yeah.
But yeah, that's good. That's good. I even said Kolasinac. I watched Bosnia's first match. I can't remember who he was against.
Yeah, he did well, didn't he?
He did well. Yeah, it was good. I think he was injured by the end of the match or whatever, or slight injury. But yeah, I thought it was quite good, to be honest. He made some very good defensive tackles. So happy days. But I like to see former Arsenal players do well, man. The ones that we like, of course, because the ones that we don't like, I don't give a shit about. But
quickly, final thought on an ex-Arsenal player.
Please.
Xhaka.
Oh yeah, so there's been an update on that actually. So let me just quickly get back to that. So
kind of refused that he's not for sale at any price.
So an hour ago, yeah, that's what Sunderland have said, and I really, really hope that he doesn't go to Chelsea, because that's not good. I mean, after we've forgiven him and everything like that, I just don't think. Please don't do it.
To be fair, he's 34 now, isn't he?
Yes.
He's not going to do anything for Chelsea. He's a good player, right?
It's the mentality change, Stevie. It's the mentality. That's all Chelsea need. They just need a mentality change. And I think, Xhaka going in there, he's the perfect guy to potentially change them. But, I don't want that. Fuck Chelsea. Whatever. Like, let Jabby do that shit. That's what he's getting paid for. And I think that's the whole point of, obviously, of them wanting Xhaka, because the Javi Leverkusen connection. Yeah. So, which is fine, but I just don't think... I don't think Xhaka will leave. Well, it is London, so probably could leave. He wants to live in Sunderland, so
exactly.
Yeah, that's actually a fair point, and yeah, it's unfortunate, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Would you have Robbie? Would you? And there's talk of Igor, isn't there, from Brentford? And there's a lot of talk. I mean,
I'd probably go for fucking Igor.
Tudor. Tudor.
That's the Tottenham manager, wasn't it? That's the fucking weirdo.
It's Igor, isn't it?
Yeah, Igor Tudor. No, Igor fucking Tudor. Igor Thiago or something like that. His name is Igor Thiago. Yeah, that's his fucking name. Jesus Christ. Yes, I would rather have him than Robbie. Yeah, I
don't know. I think Robbie, to me, he's more mobile than Gyökeres. Well, they've just scored. Whoever's just scored.
Have they?
Someone's just scored.
Isn't it?
And there's 4 minutes to go of normal time, and it's Canada.
Wow! Let's have a look who scored for Canada. Yeah, 1-0.
Canadians. Yeah.
92nd minute. And
horrible time to score for the opposition.
Eustachio, man. Eustachio. Fucking sound like pistachio. But yeah, no, I would probably go for Igor Thiago, in all fairness. I think he's a little bit better than Robbie.
I would, do you know, as daft as it sounds, if I was sat around the Arsenal table and I was thinking about potential players, and just quickly, you know, if think of Jesus is going, right, who could we have similar to him? Robbie.
I mean,
would be perfect.
If you're talking a substitute, yes, absolutely, because I don't think Thiago would come in.
Fast,
yeah,
you know, raw kind of thing. Someone he's proven he's scoring for the Netherlands. He scored, you know, a bagful for. He scored against us. He scored a bagful for Sunderland. You know, I just think someone like that would be a great addition to bring on. Do you know what I mean?
But would they be happy being on the bench though, like to Gyökeres and a Havertz?
I think he would be happy playing Champions League football, personally.
True, but they've got European football this season, so it could be another. I know, but shit, Sunderland, for God's sake, you know, that's a massive achievement. So, you know, he could be worth more to Sunderland than he would for us, sort of thing, you know. And I don't know, I get what you're saying, but the problem is
I can't see it, but it just, for me, if I was sat around there, I'd be looking at that type of player.
If you're getting rid of either a Havertz or a Gyökeres, then yeah, absolutely, you'd look at someone like a fucking Igor Thiago, whatever his fucking name is, as your main striker. But for a substitute, you know, they have to be happy to sit on the bench, man. There's two of the players in front of them who obviously
we need a
more.
strong bench this year. We need for like.
We do. We absolutely do. I agree with you, and that will definitely be a conversation, by the way, when we get closer to the beginning of the season.
100%.
Because obviously we need to know who's going to be coming in, who's going to be going out. Yes. There's no point just speculating, and you know, it's just a theory basically. So, anyways, right, we have gone on long enough, so we will leave it there. Thank you so much for listening. We will be back next week at some point, and. Stay safe, stay alert. Stevie, send us the fuck out.
Au revoir. Oui, si, arrivederci, la 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 la.
La la la, we are going, la 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 la. Okay, we're good.